This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code SOCRATES at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenro radio playlist. zenroclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Pornian Bakery. If you're located in the Pornian area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Pornian Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great. You know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself, definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone could podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. It's really interesting because I heard this thing this morning where they're like, if we're lucky, we have 90 years. That's a good lifespan for people, right? And I was thinking about my parents. I'm like, oh, my dad's almost 69, and if it's really 90, then it's you have 21, let's say, good years left, or not even good years, because there could be a decline, and then you have 20 years left, right? And when you think of it in terms of every year as a milestone, like Christmas is, or it sounds really sad because you're oh, it's only 20, and you're oh man, that's very, very small. But you're but there's 365 days within that 20 though.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really 365 times 20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 20. Well, you had said 20 years, so that's 365 days times 20 years.
No, but all right, let's say I framed it like this. You have 20 Christmases left. You're oh, dude, that's really sad.
Sure. Yeah, it depends on, it's how you word it, right? The numbering adds context. Yeah.
Totally. And when you think of it in terms of that, you're oh, that's really sad. But but yeah, sure, it's 20, but how is the ride?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, we think of it in terms of yeah, this is our life, and we're trying to do stuff, but it's only at a certain point you start waking up, and then you really take charge of the ride.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So it's yeah, you can have 20 years, or you can have 90 years, or you can have 10 years, but it's the best 10 years, or the most awake 10 years. You know what I mean? There's something with awakeness and sleep, being asleep at the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how many people, because when I heard that, it's they have 20 Christmases left. I'm yeah, but those were dope Christmases, and there'll be more 20 more dope Christmases. But it's not oh, I've only got 20 to make it, but I feel a lot of people, maybe that's the midlife crisis is, where you wake up all of a sudden, you're oh my God, I have such a little amount of time, and then you start changing your entire life, and you're bro, but why'd you change it now?
Mm-hmm.
You had the whole time to change it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's been really messing with me a lot recently, because I'm bro, why are we not all awake to this concept? Or realizing that you're gonna die. Why do we have to take things for granted until they're just out of reach, or they're already gone, and you're oh, I can't take that time back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. It's does that ever plague you, or is that just me? I'm just overthinking it all the time.
No. I think it's a normal human concept. Especially when you think about mortality. Yeah, of course.
But how many people think about mortality? I was telling Tara that, yeah, but I think about death all the time. She's yeah, but it'll feel different when you're told you have 20 years left. I'm for sure. But I'm always cognizant of this time's very limited,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, why is it not at the forefront? Why are people not marketing that? Maybe you'd have a radical shift in society if people started thinking that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But I think it's there are moments that people do think that, but then there's other things about life that gets in the way, or you gotta do, or you don't. It's something that you have to be constantly mindful of in order to actually solidify that in your mind, right?
Yeah, facts. No, totally. They're busy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And but why? It's almost like this. It's like, why did you get busy?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I was thinking about like, I don't know, my own life, and like I was telling somebody, well, because yesterday, my birthday, so I was like, you have to reflect, and it's like when you think about your life, do you not want to be on your deathbed? Be like, that was a dope ride.
Hmm.
Like I was saying that to someone, and it was like, oh, it's so morose. You're like, but you're thinking about your deathbed already. It's like, but we're all gonna meet it, bro. We're all going to be at that space where it's like, it's time to go. You know.
Hmm.
But why not? Why not actively like plan for it and like understand that this is all going to go away, so it's not even real. So why don't you play the game how you want to play the game?
Hmm.
And then at the end, you're like, dude, this is a dope game. You know? Because I would never want to feel like in that position. I'm sure people do, where like you're on your deathbed and you're like, man, if only I had, oh, if I just had more time, and like imagine dying in that state,
Hmm.
right? They talk about the in like spirituality, I think it's like the Tibetan Book of the Dead, but like the dying process, and it's like supposed to be a very like celebratory spiritual moment. I think that's the only culture that I've read that has like a very non-negative viewpoint on death,
Hmm.
like Buddhism and like Tibet and like yeah, that whole system is like, I don't know, it's not a sad thing, but it's like a thing we all have to go through. It's almost like you prepare your whole life to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in that moment, we're all going to face death, and we're going to be like, bro, like, you are going to take me into the next realm. But am I going to go a coward, or am I going to go like brave, or am I going to go excited, or am I going to go scared? You know what I mean? Like, what are these? Or maybe it's just me thinking this way. Like, I don't know. What do you think? Like, is that like a weird, kooky kind of thing?
No.
You know? But okay, so you're like, no, but it's like, then why don't people think of it in that way? Like Tara was like, oh yeah, go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
no. I think it depends. Each person's what happens in their life is all different, right?
Yeah.
I feel like those sort of things could lead people in certain directions or think in certain ways.
Mm.
If you're see death all the time, I think you're more appreciative of life. If you don't see it all the time, like these things are not. If you're not really thinking about it, then it's not in the forefront.
Yes. Right. Totally. Yeah. Like my mom and sister being nurses, and they're just like
Yeah,
freaking me out all the time about
right.
death.
I think
Oh my
I
God.
think that's what added to your thing, right?
For sure. For sure. But like, okay. So I was listening to this, like Tara was like, oh, listen to this podcast. And like, who's the first person who ever said life is just a story you tell yourself? Not exactly in those words, but it's basically exact same sentiment,
Hmm.
which is like, at some point in your life, something happened, and then every moment from there is building on those concepts. Like it's um, like, oh, I'm a bad person, and then you start seeing moments in your life that reaffirm that you're a bad person, and that story gets stronger and stronger.
Hmm.
I'm a victim. I'm a whatever, and like he was saying like, I want, if you are hearing this right now, I want you to know that it's not your fault.
Hmm.
It's not your fault. And I was like, bro, if I could hear it, and I was like, if I was in that situation where like I thought I did everything wrong in life, and then somebody's telling me like it's not your fault, like of course I'd cry too. I'd be like, oh my God, this is amazing, like
Yeah,
thank you,
yeah.
you know. But like, why do people like the story is so important, and it's like I'm just so locked into this fact that I'm seeing people just get locked into these stories, which are like that's not real. And what he was saying is like just change the story.
Hmm.
Like what do you want to do? There's a really important moment. Remember when I went to work in Hong Kong?
Hmm. Yeah.
So I was freaking out because like, dude, I'm away from my family, blah, blah, blah. But then I just like on the ride over and like weeks leading up, I was like, all right, you're like a spy. You're a spy going to a fake land, foreign land, and like you gotta do this mission. But then that story like helped get me through. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm just playing this game. Here we go, you know? And it's like that I really think is the secret to life, which is like taking control of the narrative through creativity.
Yeah.
But like what is creativity, right? It's God. Hear me out here. So like when you think about it, you're like, oh, man in the sky. But like what does God do in every scenario? Create. right? And we're like echoes of creation creating, like the Big Bang to us,
Hmm.
you know? And like that's our greatest, like you feel the most alive when you're in some process of creation.
Hmm. Yeah.
Would you agree or no? Could you think of a moment where you're like, oh, I'm more alive in this moment? When you're so tapped in, you're like, oh, I'm like making something. Whether it be like creating a solution for rock climbing, or like creating new business, creating
Just
doesn't
being
mean
innovative,
painting.
right? Being,
Yeah, like doing something that's like
yeah.
new. Yeah,
Hmm.
innovative. Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Can you think of something that's more, yeah.
I don't know at the moment. No, I don't think I can.
No, right? It's like our highest point,
Sure.
you
Yeah.
know? Like some will make the joke of reproduction, right? But technically that's creating though. You're still creating a life. So it's
Hmm.
like I really think that our most tapped in points, our flow states are through creation, you know?
Hmm.
And that's like the highest state because at the opposite of that is like fear. So like let's call that love. Like creation is like love because you love what you're doing. Not like passionate love.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like the big
Sure.
L, like, well, what love mean? It's like no, like you're you're like in this flow state,
Hmm.
you know? And then like fear is the complete opposite of that, where you're just like you're reactive, like, oh, I need to protect myself, so like I hoard everything,
Hmm.
like. And then like if we lead with love, what would your life look like if you just looked through that paradigm of,
Yeah. I
like, I don't
think.
know, this seems so simple, but it's like, bro, nobody's thinking about this. It's like, dude, it's just right in your face, bro.
Again, yeah. I don't know. I agree with you on that. I think that it's now. Are you living out of instinct, or are you leaving? Like, no, no, it wasn't something else where it's like, are you like being in control of life? Meaning, do you have these
Mm.
opportunities? If you don't have these opportunities, or if you can't, um, or you're just living based on instinct, right? Or you're just trying to, or survival. Sorry, I
Yeah,
think it's more
yeah,
like
yeah,
if you're
fear,
just,
right?
yeah, or fear is survival. You're just thinking
Mm.
of only survival. The time that you can think of creative is when those other things have been met in order to be creative.
Like Maslow's hierarchy. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
facts, facts. No, okay, okay, totally, totally. So like, okay, for sure, for sure. But so you agree that love and creativity is our highest state, right?
I think, yeah, every culture talks about that, right? Just love is just the big thing, right? But to
Mm.
reach that again, it's like if you're in a survival state, you're not in that mode.
Facts, 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 facts. But then it's like, but our greatest superpower is tapping into love,
Hmm.
which is like creativity. Which what I mean is like creativity. So it's like me in that example of like being the spy. It's like I tapped into that ability to like create,
Hmm.
and I was just like, let me just fake this scenario so
Hmm.
that I'll feel better in my mind. And like what he was saying in the podcast was like our greatest ability is like, yeah, doing that. And then you can reshape your life because then once you change the story, you can change your habits. Once you change your habits, you can change your life. Once you change your life, you'll be happier,
Hmm.
you know? But like it's so like so I was like, hey, write this down. This will be a good young Yoda. And then Tara's like, oh, that's so trite. That's so like overused. It's so obvious. And I'm like, yeah, but it's true. Like the trite things in life are true.
Hmm.
That's why they're trite. That's why they're
Sure.
overly
Right.
used,
Yeah.
right? But like we're just not listening, man. You know? And it's crazy to me because I'm like, bro, they said it. Like, how many times you gotta hear like 2 + 2 = 4?
Hmm.
But they're so adamant in like, no, 2 + 2 can equal 5 if I push hard enough.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But like, no, man, they said 2 + 2 = 4.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like I like people who make bad decisions. You're like, come on, man. Like, you know the way out.
Hmm.
Or like maybe they're like, I'm stuck. I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's
I'm stuck
what
in my.
state are they in? Yeah. If you're not,
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, let's go down this path. I'm interested. Go ahead.
the only way to reach that level of freedom creation, you have to be in the right mindset. You have to be able to know that it is a story, right? If you don't realize this is a
Yeah.
story, then you're just playing in a movie. You're just an actor, or an NPC, as
Yeah.
you say.
Yeah,
Without
an NPC, and then you become like a freaking not real bro.
yeah.
And it's just like, dude, the door's right there, man. You could become who you want to be. Just like step through the freaking door,
Mhm.
you know? But do you think you can hit a point where you're just like, I'm just so trapped that there's no way out? That's a really good thought, actually, because maybe this is what it is. People trap themselves too early, and then they're like, "There's no way I can escape this."
No, I think it depends what they consider as a trap, right? You
Okay.
right, like
I get what you're saying. Like a warm bed is a trap. It's like, hey man, you should probably do this, and then they're like, oh, but it's safer to do this.
yeah,
So like, it's not a trap. I'm like safe, but you're like, no, but the safety is the trap, bro.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like there's things like that. You could literally just go away. Like you could just like buy
Yeah,
a
yeah.
plane ticket and go somewhere. Don't
That's
have to
what I'm
tell
saying,
anybody.
bro. Yo, facts. Yeah, facts. Yeah, I'm thinking of all these stories. But I probably shouldn't tell that story. But like, no, but you're right though. Like that is it, and it's like, but you also don't want to crack the mind because there are certain people that I know. Because like, all right, let's think of the ultimate example of like families. You can't escape a family. Like once you create a family, you're like, oh, I'm trapped. Not trapped, but like I'm locked in, right? And you could see like one end where it's like, okay, I'm locked in into this like thing, and that's my life now.
Mhm.
But then you know this thing that you're saying, and then I also know people that's like, okay, this is my story, but f that, bro. And then they just take the train, like they just leave everything, and you're like, oh man, you just ruined their lives, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So like that's uh, there's consequences. That's what you need to understand. I mean, that's kind of what
Right.
Buddha did too, right? So
True. But okay, yeah, consequences. So is it like, I don't know, is it better to remain trapped to keep the safety and security of what you've
this
cultivated?
is this is the thing that we're fighting is more because we're societal beings.
Yeah, okay.
That is what's how much do you care about societal views on you?
Facts.
That's
True.
what is making those decisions.
Right. That actually makes sense. Yeah. Because you're like, well, how are they gonna look at me? Well, if I leave them, then I'm gonna look bad. All right, I gotta keep this. I
Yeah, but
can't.
then
Yeah, you play this
yeah,
mental
and
game.
then if you do leave or go like that, you're uh, like you can't if you're making new friends. Let's say you go somewhere, you can't tell them these stories because even then people are more is community or like that's weird that he did that or like you know what I mean. You end up becoming a
Ooh.
recluse. You'd have to be in most scenarios if that's the same.
Right. So maybe there's a point where you're just like, oh man, oh, because I really don't like to think of it in this term, but it's like maybe there is points of like no going back. It's almost like if you kill somebody, you go to jail for life. You're like, ooh, there's no coming back from that.
Hmm.
So what do you do in that game? In that game, what do you do in that game? You reset it. You know what I mean? Like what we're doing,
That's what people do. Some people.
right? But like that is your only option, and I can understand that perspective.
Hmm.
You know, where it's like, dude, there's no like, all right, just tell me how to get out of this trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, reset it, bro. There's
Hmm.
no way you could fix this. Unless you think there is a way. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you think? You think there's always a way? I don't know if there is, though.
I don't know. Possible, but that someone
Puff
has.
Daddy. Puff Daddy. Let's use him. Because now I'm like, let's not make it personal. Let's
Sure.
use somebody that's like in the public sphere. Puff Daddy. The redemption or no?
It depends. Again, yeah, it comes back to society. That's who is the only one that can forgive him or not.
What happens if Puff Daddy's like, you know what? I did a bad thing. I'm going to tell you everything that's going on. I'm going to try and right this wrong. Let's use all my money. Let's fix this problem. Would you be like, oh, okay. Forgiveness.
It could. Yeah, forgiveness is a very um, important thing that does happen, but it depends on how big it is. Right. What there is a level to how much society's to the point of what can be forgiven or not.
It's true. That's true. And now we're like, so, but all right. So if we use Puff Daddy as a case, it's like, maybe it's good game, people. Like, that's all you can say at a certain point. You're like, good game. You can't,
Mhm.
you screwed up the game.
Mhm.
All right, like, all right, this is just going down such a dark turn. I it's funny because like when people are like, "Oh, be excited." I saw this quote. I'm actually gonna repost it, but it's like, "Be excited to wake up in the morning," and then
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, that's great. What I saw, I was like, yeah, you should build a life that you're excited to wake up to. And then I was like, the past 2 days, I have not slept because I've been like excited to wake up. And I'm just like, oh, damn, I'm tired. So like if I say something like weird, it's like, that's because I'm like a little sleep deprived. That hence the energy drink is back,
Okay.
just for today. But so, okay, assisted suicide.
Uh-huh.
We're going down this path. All right.
Mm.
So, how people are like, hey, I'm like so sick. Like, you just need to let me reset the game. Okay. You think there could come a point where it's like, I've messed up so bad, just let me reset the game? Like, could we be so conscious as a species that we're like, yeah, I get it. Like, if Puff Daddy was like, hey, man, I'm so sorry for what I did. Help me out here. Let me reset the game. I
Well,
guess that's why he's on Suicide Watch, but like, you know what I'm trying to say.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, to get to a point where society allows it, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so I mean, like, could we consciously as a species be like, because we're seeing it now. Back in the day, remember when we were kids? Everyone's like, "No, that's murder. Like, don't assisted suicide people with cancer." You're like, dude, if you were in that situation, I'd probably be like, "Ooh, this is not good."
Mhm.
Imagine you had like terminal cancer. You were going to die, and every single day you were in pain. You were not even able to accept the drugs that they're giving you because your body's rejecting it. So you're just literally in pain all the time.
Mhm.
Why would you let that person suffer? That's crazy.
Yeah. That's where
No, but
suicide
but I'm
is.
saying like in the 90s, right? Society, like what you're saying. So in the 90s, we were like, no, that's murder. And then I watched because like parents in the medical field, and then I literally watched this transformation of people being from like, no, you're killing yourself, that's suicide. You're gonna go to hell for that, like
Mhm.
Catholic Church,
Mhm.
whatever, whatever.
Mhm.
And then now we're like, I get it. We'll help you out.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, could we consciously evolve to a society where it's like, if like a sex offender, like a crazy pedophile is like, hey man, I'm sorry, this was pretty bad. Let me reset this game.
It's possible.
Right? Like I feel like you're gonna hear this now, like people on like who are listening, and they're like, dude, that's so like negative. But you're like, no, that's the same way we thought when we were in the 90s. If we talked about assisted suicide in the 90s, people would have freaked out.
Mhm.
Remember that how it was so banned?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're like, yeah, don't do that. But like, I don't know. There's like a truth that we're not willing to accept as a society, but we all internally know that it's true. Like if I told you that in like private conversation and I was like, hey man, like imagine if you had terminal
Mhm.
cancer and like you were always in pain, wouldn't you want to go to? And they're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then like in public conversation, we're like, oh well, they didn't agree, so I'm going to.
Mhm.
It goes back to what you said. It's like what's societal
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
unless you become like an outcast.
Right.
And who wants to become an outcast? Yeah. It's interesting with like conversations like this, like podcasts and stuff. You hear some thoughts, like just in like open conversation through like the things I'm listening to. I'm like, oh, I thought that way too. Oh, bro, I thought that way too.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
you realize we're all talking about the exact same things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But it's like, or you've always internally pondered that, but you never like exercised that. You never went down that rabbit hole far enough
Mhm.
because you were like too afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always mind though. It's always
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
why can't you fix the problem? Like why can't you just like solve this problem? What are people gonna think about me? What It's like, oh, that's a mind game.
Mhm.
But also you need the mind because like I know some people that that are just like, oh, like I made a mess. I'm gonna run away, and you're like, oh no, dude, you gotta fix that mess.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
But those are societal pressures.
Those are societal pressures. So it's like, hey man, do you believe in yourself enough to go alone? Like, I don't know. I don't know. You know what's weird about that too? Like we were talking about the UAP thing. Like I've been listening to it recently, and like a lot of it now has to do with consciousness. Like, and they're saying like meditation is a strong component to it. I've just been too afraid to meditate now. Not even joking. Like I haven't done it. Like I can like clear my mind, but like I haven't actively done the practice of like sitting there, closing my eyes, and like just letting the thoughts flow. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should get back into it. And then as I'm listening to like these UFO things, I'm like, bro, I'm afraid what if you open the door and you're like, hello? It's like demons. You're like, oh my God,
Hmm.
you know? Because like we never explore the internal space as deeply as we do like the external one.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like what's going on in your head? Like actually you're like, I actually don't know.
Right.
Like how many of us sit with our own thoughts is what I mean,
Hmm.
you know? But like, and maybe that's why people are too scared to meditate. Actually, I know that's
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of people who are too afraid to meditate. Like, hey, you should try meditation
They're
and
afraid
thing.
to
Or
see
like
their true self.
facts, facts, bro. And you know what's crazy about that too? Like, they say like with these psychedelic trips, um, like DMT, if they give it to a kid, because that's your like I said this before, but like psychedelic means like mind manifesting. So whatever's in your mind is just gonna come out, right? And that's how people's minds break because they're like, oh my god, I didn't even know that I hate my life, you
Hmm.
know? And like, but you can't hold those back because like it's just gonna push it to the surface. And they're saying that when they give like DMT to kids in like ceremonies, like sacred ceremonies, not like as a cultural thing. It's not like they're just like drugging up kids. No, but like, I mean, like
Sure.
in these ceremonies in tribes and stuff, they would give it to like the adults and the kids would take some too.
Hmm.
But the kids never have a problem with it because they're too pure. Like their minds are not like bogged down by demons yet.
Okay.
You know? Oh,
Yeah.
what were you saying?
No, no, it just isn't like fully developed.
But like culturally, there's nothing to repress yet,
Sure. Okay.
unless something happened as a kid. But like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
bury a
Right,
lot,
right, right.
you know, and that's why a lot of actually there's this crazy one I was listening about it. But they didn't really know the mechanism, but I'm like, oh, I know what's going on here. So like iboga. So a lot of people have what do you call it? Addictions,
Hmm.
right? They'll like, oh, I drink too much, I smoke too much, whatever, whatever. And but like, what is an addiction for? It's to band-aid a problem,
Hmm.
right? Like you have some sort of demon that like I keep saying demon, but it is, bro. It's like mind demon. But like you have something that you're like burying and then you don't want to face it. And
Yeah.
then the iboga
To
forces you,
suppress
but
it.
then makes yeah, right. But then it brings it to the surface, the iboga drug,
Hmm.
and then it
Okay.
brings it to the surface. And a lot of people that have done it, like I was just listening to a podcast about it. The dude who went on it, he's like, then a skin, like the snake skin was like shedding off my body, and I was freaking out, and then like they were coming out of my mouth. Like you have like a crazy psychedelic trip. But then at the end, he's like, then I just didn't drink for like 2 years. Like I still haven't had a drink, and I'm like, bro, it's because you let go of the demon,
Hmm.
you know, and like that's going on a day-to-day basis with everyone, and that's why a lot of people are afraid of psychedelics because like you will face those demons.
Hmm.
Oh my god, what if wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. This is crazy actually. Wait. All right, so I've been listening to a lot of things. It just clicked for me on the podcast right now with that example. I was listening to Tom DeLonge talk about like it goes beyond UAPs. Like we're thinking about like UFOs and like whatever, and like, but it's a battle of consciousness. And I'm like, all right, you are privy to some information that I'm not privy to, so I'm going to listen to you. And now that you've proven that you are in the field of like people who know, there must be something to your words, right? But he
Hmm.
can't like directly say it. So what he's like is like we're all thinking about it like aliens from Zeta Reticuli, right? They're from this like this other world, right? But he's like, what if it's actually different? What if it's like interdimensional? What if it's like mental? What if there's like a literal war between good and evil? I think we talked about this on the podcast, like the war of good and evil's like inner minds is like the
Hmm.
devil and stuff. But like really think about that though. People are walking around with these mental demons all the time that they have to shed.
Hmm.
And the war is like the physical manifestation. Holy crap, I just figured it out. Oh crap. Okay, wait. So a lot of people in the UFO space are like, we live in a three-dimensional sphere, right?
Hmm.
Like tangible reality. But a lot of them say that it's a projection of something else. It's like, what if our life is just a projection? Like something's here, like a shadow cast. Like you have a ball, and then like you have light, and then there's a shadow on the table.
Hmm.
Okay. So then if you live as the shadow, you're like, oh, it's a two-dimensional reality. But it's like, no, but there's a ball casting a light onto the shadow, but we're stuck in this two-dimensional reality. You think this is what all reality is. You see what I'm saying? It's like
Hmm.
an analogy. So like we're living in a 3D space, but there's there's a fourth dimensional reality that's like a projection. This 3D space is a projection of another dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then take that and now take Tom DeLonge's mention of like there's a war between good and evil. And a lot of people that have really delved into the UFO space, they've converted to Christianity. And I'm like, bro, I'm not converted, right? But I'm like, is it an analogy between good and evil? Is there a war, a mental war, literally in this fourth dimension called mind going on? And then the 3D space is the physical manifestation of that war, which means like, why are we polluting this planet? Greed. What is greed? It's tied back to a mental demon of frickin' trying to get everything. And then there are people with like angels in their mind who are trying to like create positivity, like us on this podcast. Like, hey man, just educate yourself. Like, do good, bro.
Sure.
You know? And then like that manifests as a physical reality, which becomes the podcast that people listen to. You know, like Young Yodas and like posts, like they're like physical manifestations of this fourth dimensional plane. We are literally in a 3-dimensional plane that is, no, we are literally a projection of a fourth dimensional interplay that's manifesting on a 3-dimensional plane.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that actually makes sense though, right?
Yeah, if you're saying, yeah, that's a good way to explain it. Yeah, good versus evil.
Because I've heard all these, right? It makes sense because I've heard all these theories before. I'm like, it's making no sense. Like, what do you mean there's a freaking good and evil? What do you mean that there's like we're just a projection of like another space? Like, what does that mean? Is it like, you know? But it's like, no, I was taking that too literally, which was their analogy of like, here's the light, here's the ball, and then the casting of the shadow. And then the people that are in the 2D space, they think that that's real, but it's like, no, it's actually a projection of the ball and the light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was a literal, they were saying it. I was like, oh, this is literal. It's like, no, it's not literal, bro. It's allegorical.
But are they? Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's your understanding to break it down as
facts. But I'm like, tell me I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Like, because now I'm like excited about. I'm like, wait, because there's some pull in me. I'm like, there's something correct here about good and evil, and I'm seeing it. And like, I've heard of demons before, but like, I'm like, no, dude, it's not like a freaking real demon. Like, there's no pitchfork.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe those movies. Oh my God, this is crazy. Whoa, it is Christianity. That is it. Wow. All right, check this out. What is my biggest fear? Like, aside from needles and heights, like, as a kid, you're like plagued with like hell, right? Like demonic movies. Like, I can't watch those like movies, like Exorcism, right? And you're like, as a kid, like I hated going to church and stuff, and like you watch Exorcism and be like, oh my God, that's so freaky. Okay, so what if you take the movie like an allegory? The demon cannot manifest on this physical plane, so it puts itself into the mind of another person. Not literally, like it's just like a concept. It's like I really want to have your money. I really want to have your wife. I really want to have your business. Greed.
Yeah.
Right? The 7 deadly sins.
Yeah.
And then, right? And they manifest into actions. That's why when you watch like Exorcism, they're like speaking in tongues, cutting themselves. Like, but it's not, it's like, it's allegorical, bro. You're not literal. Maybe you do. I don't know. Friggin'. Maybe you do fly, you know, and like, bro, no, your head turns around. Maybe. But like, but if you look at allegorically, it's like, no, that mind demon that went into the girl is now feeding like her physical reality and is manifesting as these things. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
It makes sense. But the reason why it says Christianity is because that's the only religion that's talking about that. Like Constantine, devil, angel. I mean, like, okay. I'm sure that the Anunnaki is real. Like Tom DeLonge put it like this, and I was like, that's so true. He's like, if you were in the ocean and you're a fish, right, and you see a plastic bag, you're like, oh, that's interesting. Basically, the plastic bag's the UFO, right? And you're like, that's kind of cool, but you don't realize that the plastic bag is actually trash. And what is trash? Trash is like food that was a container, and then somebody threw it aboard, and then there's a city. Like, he's saying that our life, our reality, even though we think we're alone in the universe, is way more complex than we think. So it's like, yeah, maybe there are Anunnaki. Then maybe they did come here and we based religion off of them. Or maybe the mental demons are affecting the Anunnaki who came here. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think there is a fourth dimensional plane. We talked about it all the time, which is like a mind demon, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And like what we do from those mind demons literally has physical ramifications on our world. I was listening to Paul Rosalie or something on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was talking about how they're cutting down the rainforest. But that's just for like money, bro. But it's like, why would you cut down the rainforest for money? So you're literally like killing the earth for a mental thing,
Mm-hmm.
which is like the concept of money and like, but those things aren't real. You're gonna die. It's gonna be gone. But something's plagued you to be like, I need to get all this money, bro.
Right.
And then it's like affecting the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a physical ramification of a mental construct.
Yeah.
And this goes back to the whole idea of like, if you just told yourself a whole different story, like if you're listening to this right now, you're like, oh, that's a cool way to think about it. That's a whole new story that I'm going to adopt, you know? And then you start changing your life in the positive direction.
Mm-hmm.
Then we could technically call you like an angel of God or like a, you know what I mean?
Sure.
You're
Yeah.
like an avatar, a Jesus working like, because you're just taking that love concept or like that, like peace, love, prosperity, and you're fighting demons, bro. You're like Michael the Archangel.
Mm-hmm.
But you know the story of Michael the Archangel?
I don't know that story.
He's the like right hand man of God, and then he casts the devil into hell. He's like the warrior. He like killed
Okay.
freaking the
Right.
devil. But you know what I'm saying? Like we could all become Michael the Archangel.
Yeah.
Or we could become freaking demons, bro. Who are trapped. Basically those members
Yeah,
of people
yeah,
that
yeah,
can't
yeah.
go back, and you're like Puff Daddy, bro. Like when I see that case, I'm like, do you have some demons, bro? You know what I mean? But all right, you know what's really funny? All right, Tara said this. I hope she doesn't get mad that I said this on the podcast. But this made me laugh. I was like, dude, that's a hot take. Like I've never heard of it like this. So like when you hear the Puff Daddy thing, you're like, dude, that's crazy, bro. He's like enslaving people and like he was chaining them up. He was like molesting like 9-year-olds and like blah 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 blah, right? And you're like, dude, that's insane. And then she's like, as we're watching the documentary, she's like, it's kind of gross. I'm like, yeah, I know it's gross, right? And she's like, no, it's just like you're that horny. And I was like, oh my God, that's it. That is literally it. It's like, you just need to be having sex all the time, right? That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, his lust demon
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
overcame like 7 deadly sins, bro. Like lust,
yeah.
greed, sloth, whatever. I don't know what they are. But you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, it just became a huge demon that like overcame him, and now he's like, no, I must use all my power because I'm so horny. When you put it like that, it's like that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem as crazy. Like it doesn't seem as like, dude, there's this cabal of like the elites are working
Mm-hmm.
against us. You're just like, no, those people are just really horny, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're like repressed. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
the dude, I've been talking a lot. Just like if you want to jump in, if you had all, you're like, I'm like going on this rant right now because I'm like sleep deprived, and I'm like, oh, this is all making sense now. You know, but like, you know the picture of like LeBron James, and like he's in,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and you're like, oh, that might be AI. Let's assume it's real. Okay, or like some craziness happened at these parties. Okay, dude, if we just made inclusivity a thing. All right, right before the podcast, I put these stickers on this microphone, and you and I both laughed at this rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but I'm like, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Make fun of me, whatever. But if we just made inclusivity a thing, it'd be like, hey, LeBron, I get it. You want to dress up, bro? Go do your thing, bro. And then the demon, he'd be like, I could dress up like a maid. You
Mm-hmm.
won't laugh at me? Like, nah, bro. Do your thing, bro. Just don't hurt anyone. Do your thing, bro. He'd be like, all right, cool. We're dressed up like a maid. We're like, all right, cosplay is cool, bro. You know what I mean? And then he wouldn't feel bad. Like, you do your thing, just don't hurt anyone. But it's because we've like, oh my God, dude, everything's clicking. Maybe the Catholic Church was co-opted by a demon. No, but like a mental demon. Think about this. The Catholic Church, like, no, you know what I mean, bro? Think about it though. You're like, the Pope is like, no, gays will go to hell.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, hey man, just love everyone, do whatever you want, bro. And he's like, no, give me all your money. Literally though, because you have to give money at church, which I was always like so funny. My mom would always pull out a 20, and like as she's giving it, I would snake the 20 and be like, I'm more poor than these people. I was like 10, and I'm like, I'm more poor than these
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
I'll just keep it. I'll be like, what are you doing? And she put another 20. I'm like, I'm keeping this 20 though, you know? Because I saw the game. I'm like, why are we giving this money? I want the money. I want to go buy like friggin' chocolates,
yeah.
bro. Like, why are you gonna give it to them?
Right.
You know? But that's greed. That's the greed demon inter inter intercepting the Catholic Church. And then like you also have like the non-inclusivity aspect of like the Catholic Church, you know? And then those are the ones that went around were like, hey man, don't be gay. And then LeBron James is like, oh man, I can't become a basketball player if I'm gay. And you're like, but now 2024, like do whatever you want, LeBron, man. Like that's on you. Like you have fun, but just don't hurt anyone,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And then, but then these demons overtook him. But if we had like a more peaceful world where it's like everyone's accepted, it's like you probably wouldn't have these demons. Because allegedly, I mean, like if you look at it, like Puff Daddy's either repressed like homosexuality or he's bi, or but he can't. He's living in that world of like I have to act with my bravado.
Mm-hmm.
But then like DMX and all these people are like, oh, you know, you can't do that. And then he's like, oh, I'm so repressed. I'm going to just do it in secret. And then I'm going to find people who are just like me, who are also bi. And then we're just going to do these freak parties. And then like, haha, against you. But it's like, okay, cool. You guys are bi. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do that over there. Like, I'm not. So whatever. Go have fun. You know?
Right.
What do you think though? You think I'm just like totally out to lunch? Or you're like, oh, that makes sense?
No, it could make sense.
It's like, what is the reason why you would do any of this stuff?
Mhm.
You're just not able to exercise it in public opinion. Like you're saying, like
Yeah.
people look at you weird.
Yeah.
But if we just didn't look at people weird, they're like, all right, man, do you?
Sure.
Whatever. Then you wouldn't feel repressed.
Mhm.
And then the repression wouldn't feed the demon.
Mhm.
I can't do these things. Because, all right, everyone's talking about like freaking but maybe the cure is Taoism, bro. So like we're talking about Christianity, good versus evil. It's like, yeah, totally. Maybe all the religions work together as one. Who knows? But like good versus evil, right? But like Taoism is like good, bad. But we also have a good piece of bad and good in our good and bad.
Mhm.
So like LeBron James, like you're the best basketball player ever, all good. So like now you have to uphold the standard of like not having any bad, you know. But then if we just accept a little bit of bad in LeBron James, we're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Then you'd harmoniously live your life, bro.
Yeah. But that's societal thing, right? So this is societal pressure that goes back to that. When you are a big basketball star, you don't want to have a bad image because then it affects everything. Yeah.
Endorsement deals.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Rig. But this is it though. If we just solved it, maybe that's why I'm so like into this space. Like there's so many things that I don't like about DEI. Okay. It's like as a non-BIPOC person, please don't tell me how to be inclusive. Like I get like or please you can tell me how to be inclusive, but don't tell me how I should look at things as a BIPOC person. You know what I'm saying? Like you get that a lot in DEI. It's like you should, because you're BIPOC, you should be like this. I remember I was in this like I won't say it explicitly, but I was in this like environment, and then I was we were having this like open discussion. It was all Caucasian people. I was the only one there, and then they were like, "Yeah, you know, I feel like so bad about like how I was racist." And I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "Okay, cool, bro." And they're like, "Yeah, me too." Blah blah blah. I'm such a racist person. I hate. And then I went like, hey guys, you know that BIPOC people are racist to also BIPOC people, right? Like I'm Filipino and we're not really cool with like culturally darker skin. And they're like, oh my God, thank you for saying that. I've noticed that too. And like, oh, you know, and I was like, yeah, bro, like you are really thinking of it like you're the enemy, but we all feel this, you know? And like, all right, so that's what I don't like about it. But I really do like the fact that it's like, just be you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Just if I'm not in it, if I'm not cool with that, like don't invite me to the party, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
But you have your own party, bro. Like, that's cool, man. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where the world is going to turn. I really think, at least being on the side of good versus evil, like if the way history plays itself out, like I would at least like to be like a proponent of just do your thing, bro. Just if we're not on the same page, just don't invite me.
Mhm.
You don't like jujitsu. I'm not gonna force you to go to jujitsu, bro. You're gonna get choked out. I'm like, ugh. And then you're gonna be like, I hate this. I hate this so much. I'm
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
but it's good for you. You have to come. Blah blah blah. It's like, no, it's like force feeding you, bro. Just
Mhm.
like if you don't want to come, don't come. You know. But why can't we be there now? Vish, tell me why we can't be there now.
Just humans, complicated creatures. Society itself.
Yeah, it's literally that though.
Yeah.
Society,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's how we built our structures or our communities. This is how it is.
Yeah. Which is sad. I don't know. Do you think it'll ever hit that space? What I'm talking about, which is like total inclusivity. It's like, hey man.
Yeah. Things
Yeah,
change. Things change all the time. Of course. Yeah. I mean, we've gone through different kinds of societies over lots of times. Over the Greek culture is very different in what they
Yeah,
were doing.
totally. Oh, dude. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Freaking the philosophers all had a boy.
Yeah.
Right? No, that's a dark secret, but like it's like true. Like you know what I mean?
No.
Dude,
Yeah.
I heard the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, I heard the craziest thing about the Spartans. The reason why they were willing to fight so hard for one another is because they were lovers. So you would take so you'd be a Spartan. Everyone's like 300 Sparta. I want to be them. I'm like, hey, you gotta know the real story though. So like they're like, oh, like we're gonna give you this boy, and then you're going to raise him to be a great fighter. But the thing is, you guys have to be lovers.
Mhm.
But this is the truth. And then they built like love bonds, and that's why they fought so hard with one another.
Mhm.
They felt the love between. I swear to God, this is true. Look into it. The love bonds. I actually have a book on this. It's crazy. The love bond between you and your student has to be so strong that like that's why you would die for them,
Mhm.
and it supersedes your wife bond because you're on the battlefield with one another. But like they built it through physical love as well as
Mhm.
like this. You can't. You know what I mean?
Right.
They literally. So like they were all like. You know,
Yeah.
actually, what's kind of funny because if you think that when people make fun of gay people, I'm like, they're the toughest people ever, man. Just look at the Spartans, dude. That's what I'm gonna say from now. Like, dude, you're gay. It's like that's lame. Like Spartans,
Mhm.
you're like you love 300. They're tough, right? They would kill anyone, right? They're all gay. And you'd be like, oh, it's like man,
Or
you gotta
bi.
give or buy, yeah, totally. You gotta give your props to these people, the inclusivity people, bro.
Mm.
You know, that's what's up. All right, went down a crazy long tangent. How long are we at? I really want to talk to you about some other stuff.
It's like 46 minutes in now.
God damn. All right. But I think it makes sense though, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're
Like, I mean,
ruled by
sense.
society. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But no, I mean, like the fourth dimensional plane.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's like I'm gonna take away from this podcast that the most, and I'm like, oh, that's really what's going on.
Mhm.
I really think that because they're you have all the experts in the world explain the exact same thing, but I'm like, I don't get what you guys are saying until this moment when we were talking about it. Anyways,
Yeah, we're making inferences, but we don't know what they're
yeah,
exactly saying, right? Like,
for sure,
what do they
for
mean
sure.
by that?
Totally. But like, this is from what they've said, this is the most dumbed down explanation I can think of that fits what they're saying. Because
Mhm.
we know that they know what they're talking about, bro. Like, this is like they're privy to some information that we're not.
Mhm.
You know, we're just trying to like pull the information from what we kind of hear. But anyways, okay, so let's talk about Joker really quick. You gonna watch it? We're gonna talk about it in the podcast.
Well, with all the bad reviews, I don't think I'll watch it till the
I
streaming or
know.
something.
Okay, I think this is the greed demon at work, bro. Because like the first movie made like what $1 billion something, and they were like, you got to make the next movie. And then I heard this one was so bad, like
Mhm.
I can't even bring myself to watch it. I was like, maybe I'll give it a shot. But like, did you watch the? You showed me him. It's like a red background.
I
He's
showed.
like on a red background.
Oh, okay.
There's like a movie reviewer.
Yeah.
You always watch. Did you watch his video of
No,
it?
I didn't watch it. What did?
Oh man, he's just like ripping it so hard. And then and like all my Instagram reviewers that I follow, they're all just ripping it so hard, and I'm just like, oh man, I can't watch this.
Mhm.
So yeah, you're not gonna watch it. And then the dude said he's like, I'm done with DC, but it's like, or maybe DC's done with you, bro.
I'm not sure if he. I don't know like what he exactly said because I was just like, oh, like a written thing. I didn't see him say that.
Marketing. Yeah, totally facts. You're right. You're right. All right. So do not watch Joker or watch it. You know, like
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have
have
the
it. Enjoy
money.
your nap.
If you have the money, if you want to, you can.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. All right. So check this out. So this is the. It's funny because I was like, I texted you during the week. I was like, dude, this is gonna be a crazy podcast because like I just learned something. It's already a crazy podcast because what we just talked about. But okay, so I had never heard of it. Did I send you that video? That I made like a clip. I hope I didn't. I sent you a clip of the explanation. No, I posted it, but I made sure not to send it to you because I was like, I want to explain this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it was this dude, American Alchemy, and he was talking to Rupert Sheldrake about time. So there's this. I never even thought about this. You remember how I was like, if you can calculate backwards, you can calculate forward. So that's why both of us believe in determinism,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's like no, there's like a causal effect, right? So like if I do this, it'll do this, and that'll do that. And then the logic was, well, if you can calculate the steps backward, if you somehow figured out how to calculate the steps forward, then you'd prove determinism,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we can like calculate all the way back to the Big Bang, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually called retrocausation.
Okay.
So that calculating backward is called retrocausation.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's a thing. That's a real thing. Okay. So what he was saying, but maybe you can tell me like if I lost the plot here. So telescopes are a great example of like forward look because we're shooting light or we're shooting something back forward in time to see how far in the universe where things are in the universe. However, the star is shooting backwards at you.
Mhm.
So you have retrocausation and you have causation. Right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
So literally, and I've heard this so many times too, which is like the past and the future collapse in the present moment. Okay. And it's like, dude, what are you talking about?
Mhm.
Right. So I thought it was allegorical, but I think it's scientifical, which is like you have the forward causation, which is like us peering into the space. And then you have retrocausation, which is the star coming back. And then they meet at the middle, which is
Mhm.
the present moment where we could see it. Right. And then, so you're like, oh, no, time doesn't work that way, blah, blah, blah. Time is not real. It's space time. This is from a different podcast, which is like theories of everything. He's like people when they go like space and time. He's like, oh, as a physicist, this dude's a physicist.
Mhm.
He's
Right.
like,
Right.
it's so annoying when I hear like space and time because it's like no, it's space time, bro. They're the same thing. As soon as you affect space, you affect time because space and time are one. Okay, so as we're going through forward in space, you have causation, retrocausation, which is like the star's light, and then they meet at the point where we can see it, which is the present moment.
Mhm.
Tenet is real, bro. We can for sure go back in time. We just have to catch the back window.
Right.
Do you agree? All right, now tell me if I'm crazy.
I think that's the theory that Nolan's going on about for Tenet, right?
But we watched Tenet and we're like, the frig is going on here? You're like, what do you mean back? What? But I think it's just it's like a depiction of this concept.
Mhm.
When they talk about pincer movements, right? Pincer, I had to Google it after. Pincer means like you go on both sides and you meet in the middle.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
at the end they're like, we're gonna do a pincer attack. They kept saying pincer, pincer, and you're like, what do you mean pincer? And they're like, but then the past and the future collapse in the present moment. They're pincered together here
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, can we travel back in time? If we just somehow catch the retrocausation.
Mhm.
Because we could see it. We know it's real. We could see the past in front of us, but can you catch that moment?
Right. Well,
Does that make sense?
I guess maybe theoretically, yeah, but we have to see if that's
We have to do it. Yeah, totally.
physically, available
But
to us.
but if space, so you're like time is a concept. No, time's not a concept. Time is physical. It's space. So like,
Mm-hmm.
if you could somehow access space, remember I was like space time. So if you could access space in that manner, maybe we can jump back and forth through time. Maybe it will be real in the future,
Mm-hmm.
like Tenet.
Right.
what the hell does Christopher Nolan know, bro? This guy, bro, he brought the UFO. Remember, like I was not at all. I was like, UFOs are like I couldn't figure out like the true path forward for UFOs. I knew there was something there because like 2017 Tic Tac, but it wasn't until we watched Oppenheimer that I bought that book, Crossfire. Because remember he mentioned like JFK. He's like JFK. I was like, why would you put that in there? And then what's with Oppenheimer? And then as you look more into this, like Oppenheimer, like Los Alamos is like a pivotal moment for the UAP thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where they created or reverse. I think where they created the reverse engineering of what downed in New Mexico Roswell.
Right.
Because everyone says it's true now. Like they got a craft in Roswell, and then there's like a book about it, and like we were trying to reverse engineer what we found on that craft, and that's how we developed certain things like fiber optic cables, like Alexander Graham Bell or something. So whoever made Bell, like Bell the cell phone thing, they literally said like it's like in documents that are like photocopied and printed in that book that I have Day After Roswell. He's like, yeah, we learned how to do fiber optics by reverse engineering the craft.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've been I'm watching this video right now, American Alchemy, about like anti-gravity and like how they're trying to develop it. And they're saying like, yeah, they're reverse engineering the craft again. They're like, how the hell did they figure it out? And then their best scientists went out and they somehow figured it out, allegedly. So
Right.
like, so what the hell does freaking Christopher Nolan know, bro? This guy. It's like giving us all the secrets. You know what I mean? Like this is really what's happening.
He's tapped into another dimension. That's what it is.
Or something, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's
His
not.
movies are just like,
He's not distracted by our cell phones. I heard they did like a clip I saw recently. Like he doesn't have a smartphone. Like,
oh, really?
yeah, he's really like still manual type of thing.
So maybe that's it. Yeah, maybe he's not distracted.
No distractions. Yeah.
Interesting. And then maybe he was like, because everything he's talked about, we all like, Inception. Remember, like,
Yeah, they're all related in something.
But there's truth.
Yeah,
We're all like, oh yeah, that's real, bro. Like what you're showing is real. Like there's some. That's why we're also excited to watch his movies because they're like, you're gonna give us a truth of something, you know. Tom DeLonge actually talked about that. So he got his movie. Legendary Pictures.
Yeah.
So he got his movie. Like he wrote a book, and then he got that green light to turn into a movie. But he said that there was a moment where he saw Christopher Nolan. He ran. He's like, oh my god, he wanted Christopher Nolan to help him make the movie or whatever. And I don't think it obviously didn't go through because he's like with Legendary Pictures now. But like he even was like Tom DeLonge is even like Christopher Nolan is like the man. Right. So I'm like, okay, so you're saying he's the man, and you're really tapped in, Tom DeLonge. So what does Christopher Nolan know, bro? Like he is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where he's like the Spielberg of his time. Like Spielberg, everyone's like, oh, Spielberg's really into aliens. That's why he made Close Encounters and E.T. and blah, blah, blah. He's giving us the truth. It's like, maybe Christopher Nolan joined that. And he's like, dude, what if we found out there's an actual like a body, like an agreement with like extraterrestrial beings in Earth? Wouldn't that be crazy? Like a galactic alliance,
right. Yeah,
like Dune type stuff. That'd be insane.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Real?
It could be real.
Plausible.
I mean, like anything can be plausible.
True. But what do you like? All right, let's not gauge things like real or fake. Let's be like more leaning to the real, more leaning to the fake. More leaning to the real, more leaning to the fake for you.
For just the galactic thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would say more linked to the fake.
Really? Oh, yeah. Actually, I agree with you. Because how we keep that secret?
Mm-hmm.
How we organize everyone? Actually, no. You know what? You're right. Because I heard a really good argument about this. They would have to understand the context of our laws, but our laws are so differing. So it's like what would the universal law be? You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
like China and America are totally different. So like if you had like an agreement with a galactic federation, it's like, but then what are their laws? Because they
Mm.
must be different. And like we can't even agree on laws for ourselves. So like, how can you agree galactically?
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So okay, I'm with you on that. That makes sense. Because like, how would it be done?
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. How much time we got? I have one crazy thing for you as well.
We're 1 hour in.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's good. Great time then. Okay. So I really think that information, all the information's out there. It's just who knows what to Google.
Hmm.
Okay. So in the UFO space, UAP space, there's different kinds of crafts, right? You have like the Tic Tac, you have the traditional UFO, then you have the triangle. Do you remember when we were little kids? Or maybe you don't, because you didn't have CNN. You didn't have CNN at the time. So on CNN, there was the Phoenix Lights. Do you remember that?
I remember the name. I don't remember about it.
Okay, so I I like really vividly remember watching this on TV because it was around the time Signs came out. Remember Signs with M Night Shyamalan?
Oh, signs. Yeah, yeah, okay.
Signs, yeah. And then there were like Crop Circle and like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
UFOs during that time. Um, so there was the Phoenix light. There was like lights over Phoenix, which is like they were there for 6 hours, bro. Like a triangle shaped series of lights that was over the city. People were like, they were literally televising it on CNN. They're like, we don't know what this is. Blah blah. Blah. People were freaking out. And then like, I don't know, a couple hours later, they were like, oh, it's just an army drill. They're testing their flares,
Hmm.
right? And then the person was like, they had like knowledge experts on. They were like, dude, flares don't stay that long. They're like they drop after a couple hours. Like once they're in the air, they slowly descend, et cetera, right? Okay. So I saw on this like UFO Instagram that I follow a video taken in the war that's happening right now against Israel and Palestine. And they're like, triangle shaped UFO is shooting down missiles. And I'm like, is this real? Is this AI? So I go to the comments. I never go to the comments. But on this one, I'm like, let me just see. And then somebody writes, the TR-3B is in action. And then
Hmm.
I keep scrolling, TR-3B, TR-3B, TR-3B. And I'm like, what the fuck is a TR-3B, bro? Google TR-3B. It's an anti gravity triangular shaped aircraft that the US has. I kid you not, bro. And the patent is there.
Hmm.
Like it's so deep. Just Google. That's why all my posts have been like, just Google it, bro. If you Google it, it's so undeniable. On military.com, they describe what it is. It's like, which is what Lou Elizondo was saying, which is like, how would these crafts stay in the air? Okay, so if you have like a disc shape and you create a gravitational force field around it using like some energy source, you can be impeded by the wind.
Hmm.
Okay? And then all of the army pilots are like, we see thousands of these things all the time when we're flying. These little box shaped things. It's like a little
Right.
circle square, right? So like there's like a square, like a cube, and then outside's a sphere, and then it's a translucent sphere. Okay. And Lou Elizondo in his book is like, the sphere is an anti-gravity sphere, so you can actually be unimpeded by wind. And they're like, why are they just floating here? Okay, is this Black Ops military? Because I literally just saw, and then like on some other comments, like there's another triangle shape, and they're like, haha, these are the tech that everyone thinks are UFOs, and like they've just tricked you into thinking they're UFOs.
Hmm.
Okay. So like you can find the patent of the TR-3B, which uses the anti-gravity field, and it says that it's powered by nuclear fission and mercury. But
Hmm.
it's what it said was it's not um it's not what do you call that? It's not like officially real. I forgot the wording, but it's like this theoretical thing, but it's like so that was on military.com. This theoretical triangle shaped thing will work like this and it blah 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 power. And then if you keep going on Google, you find the patent for it.
Hmm.
Oh, so the Phoenix Lights happened in 1997. Okay. The patent was applied for and approved in 2004.
Hmm.
So maybe they were literally it was in Phoenix, Arizona, right? And Arizona is where Nellis Air Force Base is, like where they pump all their money, and that's where they test all their, like, Area 51 is in Arizona. So like, wouldn't it be logical that it was a military drill and they just said it was flares, but they were testing their anti-gravity thing.
Mhm.
And then they're like, hey, it works. Proof of concept. Here you go. Apply for the patent. And then they got the patent in 2004. You can download, I don't know how to read it, so I'm like, I don't care, but you can literally, like, they let you download patents, bro, and read them,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
like, it in the patent, it was talking about like this field or whatever. So it's like, okay, if I knew what to Google, I would have seen this right away. Then I could have debunked at least some of these UFO things.
Mhm.
So like, are UFOs, because even Arrow was created, like Arrow was this thing that was created to like look into the UFO thing, and then they were like, oh yeah, a lot, like 80% of these are actually debunked,
Mhm.
right? And then I'm like, okay, so you must, and then people in the UFO space are like, they're lying to you. Maybe they're not lying. Maybe they looked into it and they're like, oh, it's Black Ops tech.
Right.
What do you think?
It's possible. Yeah, of course they're always working on something.
Exactly. And I was listening to this podcast about this person who was talking about DARPA, defense, whatever, and they're like, no, they're like always at least 10 to 20 years ahead of what you think it is, because they have to be against, like, ahead of the opposing forces.
Mhm.
So like, we see these triangular, they're like being reported on, the triangular shaped crafts that are shooting down missiles over um, the war.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's UFOs are like protecting the space. It's like, no, that's like like beyond Black Ops tech.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what I really think is happening, right? And Lou Elizondo said this. He's like, you can't you can't declassify things that will, like, sources and methods that will go against your country or something.
Sure. Yeah,
So
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, you can declassify that we're not alone in the universe, but you can't declassify like the weapons we have or like blah blah
Yeah,
blah, right?
yeah, yeah.
So, but I had heard that outside of this. So now that I found this thing, I'm like, is this what you're talking about? Like, you want to tell us that aliens exist and we think that they're here on Earth. Some are and some are not
Mhm.
aliens from, you know what I mean? Which goes back to the Tom DeLonge thing, which is like, we're actually in a universe that's like really filled, teeming with life. And you see a trash thing and you think it's like a UFO, but it's like, no, that trash is, but that's, this other trash is actually real UFOs. So like, maybe, like Stephen Greer said, Stephen Greer, remember the past? Yeah.
Mhm.
So like, he was saying that most of what we have is our technology that we reverse engineered from downed crafts, or like stuff that they dug up
Sure.
from the past.
Right, right.
So like, maybe this really is the storyline. Roswell happens. Somehow your EMP messed up the ship that these beings were flying on. It crashed. There's so many reports of them taking the alien bodies to like Nellis Air Force Base and like all this stuff to like hide it. And then like the news was reporting like, oh, a downed ship, like a craft. And then like the next day they're like, oh, it's actually a weather balloon. That's the whole like
Mhm.
Project Blue Book. They're trying to like disinformation you. And then from that craft, people started reverse engineering certain things, and they created like the internet. They created like fiber optic cables. They created like anti gravity stuff. And now most of what we're seeing as UFOs is just like beyond Black Ops tech. However, there still is like aliens out in space that do kind of visit us. So like, you can't confuse one for the other.
Mhm.
And then like the Anunnaki that was here did have technology that far superior to our own, and that's why you find it in archaeological digs. Remember, you're like, maybe it's just like Atlantean tech,
Right.
but Atlantis is like Anunnaki. That's what they
Mhm.
say. Like
Mhm.
beings from space who came here, populated Earth, created Atlantis. What do you think? You think that's what's going on? Like, we're getting some confused with like, not like, it looks like magic, but
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
hey, but
I mean, yeah.
you know,
There will be confusion between what's like what we already have,
Yeah.
right?
Like an
That's
iPhone, bro. You'd be like, "Oh, it's alien." It's like,
yeah.
no, that's from Apple.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. It's possible. Yeah.
All right. Do you think this is like? Do you think this is the big secret? Do you think it's like? Do you think that? Do you think that this is the big mystery behind the UFO thing? It's like summer, but Stephen Greer was saying that, which is crazy. Now that I look at it, I'm like, you were kind of right, actually. But people don't want to bring him up in the UFO space. I don't know why. Like, he's like kind of blackballed.
Hmm.
So that's why I thought you were like, oh, maybe you're kind of crazy, bro. Like, maybe I shouldn't listen to you. But like, all of his stuff was talking about this, which is like they have technology that they've reverse engineered, and they're hiding it from us. And there are aliens, but most of what you see is primarily us. And the aliens are now worried because we're getting their tech and we're a warring species, and they're afraid that we're going to go colonize them.
Yeah, I don't know about the
This
last
is
part,
his
but
narrative.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, true. But if we can traverse space and we're like, hey, I really like your planet, like, are we really the evil people from Dune? Or like that warring
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
thing?
But I don't think it's like that.
Okay, so what do you think? From everything you heard, what do you think is the most logical? What are some parts you're like, that makes sense? Some are no.
No. I'm saying just the warring species thing.
Oh, us being a warring species?
Hmm.
No, like that's what Stephen Greer is saying. He's like, we are at a turning point where we either become warring or we become benevolent. Like the inclusive or not,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. What do you think?
Um,
Does that whole thing sound crazy, or you're like, it makes sense?
it's because we don't know what is actually true.
For sure. But I'm saying, like, dude, you can Google the TR-3B. I'm like, do you guys okay, actually, here's the real point I want to make with this. Here's the real point. If the TR-3B is real and you guys have that technology and you have already said that one right turn, because they're like the people who the physicists who calculated it, like one right turn of this craft, like an L-shaped turn, can power a city for like 10 years. Because
Hmm.
the energy output that's there is so insanely high to do that kind of maneuver, right? So if you have that tech and you can power for 10 years, why are we still on fossil fuel, bro? Because the greed demon is keeping everything here. There's a
Yeah,
battle
I don't know if that's
between
necessarily
goodness, you know
true.
what I'm saying?
No, but
No, right. But,
no. What I'm saying is like, even if that, let's say that do have the energy, that doesn't mean that it can be, uh, it can only be used, or that whatever they have is only for a small like a vehicle, right? You can't make a plant to be able to transfer this energy across everything.
Fair point. Fair point. All right. I hear you. I hear you. Okay. Let's say they worked on it and they figured it out.
Sure.
Okay. No, I'm gonna. All right. I'm gonna take that. All right. That's definitely a scenario that's like, yeah, we can make it work only on the ship, but we can't make it work
Hmm.
freaking for a power plant.
Hmm.
Okay. Here's another scenario because now I just got reminded of like another thing I heard. There is this dude from he said it so bluntly, which is like, non-human intelligence is here. We are being visited by other things on the planet, blah, blah, blah. He's like, so he was like basically saying that the UAP thing is real. He works in the Pentagon and like whatever. You can go back to it. It's like an old video. But what he said was, if you read this book about the downfall of civilization, this is what we're really trying to fight against, which is if you announce this truly disruptive technology, the problem is our entire system is built off of fossil fuel. So if you introduce it in the wrong way, then we're going to go the collapse of the Bronze Age. So there's like bronze, silver, gold, like
Hmm.
different periods in time
Sure.
where
Sure.
we've collapsed as a society and then we've had to build ourselves back up.
Hmm.
What he's saying is if we introduce this, it will actually collapse our economy and then we'll have to rebuild. And that's
Hmm.
what people are trying to stop.
I
What do you think?
I don't think so on it, because we've gone through different kinds of energy already.
Right, but what if we're like, hey man, you actually don't even need fossil fuel. But think about how everything's tied into fossil fuel. We looked at like Trudeau, like, oh, I want to
No,
stop
no, no,
climate
no.
change.
No, but you can go back, but it's like coal energy. What happened to coal? Did we collapse after coal was gone? No, we found energy that was more cheaper to make.
What's the difference between coal and?
No, like coal to nuclear.
But we use both.
No, but like we haven't cut out coal because in certain areas you can't. They can't reach all the nuclear energy, or whatever, like the transfer of energy. But they've reduced the amount of coal in general.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So the same thing would happen to fuel or oil. Whatever this new energy can provide, it will provide in those areas as it expands. But fuel will still need to be there to cover the other areas that we can't reach as it
I see what you're saying.
slowly changes.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. What if you won't? Okay, so the difference between this, I see what you're saying. So the thing with like coal and gas and nuclear is it has a lifespan,
Mm-hmm.
right? You need to you'll use it up. But what happens if you don't actually need that much of a lifespan for this? Like, let's just call it 0 point energy. That's what I don't know if it's actually 0 point energy, but that's just like what a lot of people say the UAP crafts are able to use.
Mm-hmm.
So what if the 0 point energy is non-renewable? Not non-renewable. It doesn't need to be renewed. So then then there's no economy. It's like you just sell it to me once, I'll never need to buy from you again. The reason why all those things kept in their high power structures because we had to keep buying from them. So that's the economy. Because economies only run if money's flowing.
Mm-hmm.
But if I sell you one product that you'll only need for the rest of your life, you're like, well, then how do I get more money? Then they have to redo.
Right. Sure.
But Saudi Arabia and all those big oil countries are really running the world right now. So it's like, hey man, we could solve this energy crisis with a 0 point energy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. How do we keep people on the leash? Oh, you can't. Once we give it to them, it's that's all they'll ever need. Oh, then don't sell it to them.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think it'll be another resource. It's always some resource that we need. That's always in depletion.
No, it'll be something yeah. No, but all right, yeah. I mean, we'll all need clothes. We'll all need technology.
No, it'll come down to water. Water is the main thing.
That's freaky to think about. Yeah, but kicker, there's a huge battle right now going on for water.
Mm-hmm.
Who owns the water? Oh, is that why you brought it up? Because you know about that?
No, I don't know about that.
Oh, okay. So there's a huge that is the next resource that you said. I was listening to people.
I think who owns the most water isn't it Canada?
Yeah. I don't know, but that's the real resource that they're talking about next. It's it won't be gas. It's going to be water. That's going to be the number one resource. But maybe we're in this. Is this the coolest time to be alive? Because we are watching a transition from one.
A lot of things are changing very quickly. Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? And what if you and I are sitting here philosophizing and in the background they're trying to make these deals and shifts? Maybe they will release 0 point energy soon. And then the real battle will be for water, like you're saying, but they're really just battling over that right now.
Possible.
Maybe
sure.
Maybe we're too fixated on climate change and stuff. And they're because why aren't people more worried about climate change? Really think about this.
Mm-hmm.
If it's an existential crisis, why aren't people worried? Why aren't 90%? Obviously low people we're all worried, but why are the top players not worried? Why is it not mission critical? Probably because they know, hey man, we're going to release 0 point energy anyways. Don't worry about it. This is the non-issue.
We don't know that. I don't know that. Maybe it's possible, but they've been talking about climate change since the 70s, and people haven't seen a difference. So
yeah, but maybe they figure out because they had this other solution.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were already working on it. They're like, hey, this could be.
It's possible
because
they could have a solution already. Yeah.
Maybe they're just hey, we're just going to release 0 point energy. We're just trying to figure out how to put it in the market. And then we're like all freaking out. Oh my God, climate change. Like, that's why they're not freaking out. And the real battle will be water.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, what if, oh, now I'm just going down the craziness thoughts. But like, what if, because you're talking about water being the battle, what if all these UAPs that are going in and out of water, what if they're not actually, what if they're ours and like we're about to watch some Gundam fights, bro, between countries?
Okay.
No, because like think about it. They're like, oh, there's this giant thing that is bigger than a submarine that flew.
Sure.
Like these are like everyone's saying it, right? And then Lou Elizondo's like, maybe they're just fish, right? Or maybe they're beyond Black Ops tech, just like the Triangle TR-3B,
Mm-hmm.
and like they're just preparing for the great battle of water that's going to be coming next. Or maybe they're like things that are swallowing up water. Like I don't know, but you know what I mean. Like we just talked about how water's gonna be the battlefield. It's like why are these things like in the water? What are they doing with the water?
Sure.
I don't know. Just like I feel like this is the coolest time to be alive because a lot is happening, and I think we're about to see something crazy happen where we're gonna shift into a totally different way of being. There's an anime called like Dimension 5 or something, and they are basically able to tap into the fifth dimension and power everything, and like they were able to like bring tech to the forefront, and it became like a cyberpunk future,
Mm-hmm.
right? And somebody commented like about because I posted that TR-3B thing, and like I can't remember what the comment was, but I was like, dude, cyberpunk future, it's gonna be sick, right? Because I'm thinking from that
Right.
perspective, and
Right.
it's
Right.
like, are we about to enter into a cyberpunk future? Or am I gonna have like a freaking cyborg arm? You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be like, I'm my neuro chip, with
Yeah. Yeah.
Elon
Yeah.
Musk. Think about it, bro.
Right.
Like, are we on the precipice of that?
We'll see. I don't know.
But you feel you can kind of see it, murmurs of it, right? The vision to the blind. You're like, what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One theory that Joe Rogan has is like, and I'm like, that makes sense. Um, the you naturally become a cyborg as every species in space has to become a cyborg because the physical body is very limited. I sent you that, or did I send you that thing where it's like, if we did live on Mars, you'd become green. Your skin would
No, I
become
didn't
green
see
or
that.
something like that. Oh, okay. So like they said on like Future Tech, this like Instagram channel, like if we did live on Mars, our bodies would change like a lot. And I'm like, yeah, because the physical body is very weak. Maybe we do become cyborgs, and like that's the natural evolution of
Mm-hmm.
things in space.
Well, there's a lot of things. If you like the gravity, how much the gravity does affect us
Yeah.
to, how we evolve and stuff. So yeah, that could have an impact on us on Mars. I don't know the gravity exactly. So there's long term changes. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
the physical body's weak. What if we, oh man, well, all right, so like Joe Rogan's like, yeah, he took it from somebody, I forgot the person, but it's like, we are the caterpillar that became the butterfly. What if humans are just the sex organs of machines and they just created us to have creativity to give rise to machines?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, there's something to that though. Not that we'll be dead, but we will be like half machine.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're already kind of there. Like
Mm-hmm.
people who have like um dialysis, what that is?
Yeah. 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 We're already doing
Yeah.
things. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
People are already doing things, bro. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna be robots in the future. We're gonna be in cyberpunk, and I'm super excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got. Anything else?
Yeah. I mean, like we do it already, right? So like a lot of the
Do what?
cyberpunk. Like as people get older,
But
hip replacements or things like that. These are already
oh yeah,
things. I'm saying like it makes more sense that that's the direction to go.
yeah.
Of course.
And I don't think it's freaky. I think it's sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, bro, who wouldn't want? But this is all right. But this is what I'm thinking. Like, you can be like us. We're like, dude, that's gonna be great, dude. Look at the aliens, bro, blah, 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 blah. Like all this stuff's happening, and then like we're gonna be on our deathbed, being like, damn, we watched the craziest, like we played the craziest video game where like things were really hitting the high point. That's our perspective, you and I. And then you have other people who are like, oh man, I got these goddamn bills. Like, oh man, I just didn't do it. Like, how do you want to die, bro? All life is an exercise in preparation for death.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were going to meet our maker. And on your deathbed, are you going to be like, that was a pretty sick game? Or are you going to be like, oh, I wish I had more time so I could have corrected. Oh, I wish I hadn't have. Boo. But it's like, just look at the freaking magic around you, bro. How is nobody else excited about what's going on?
Mm.
Because we're all enslaved by these demons, bro.
Yeah, that's the lesson.
But for real, though, right?
No, but that's the lesson from religion, though, right? That's what they're really
That's
talking
what
about.
I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. They're trying to tell us, bro. Like demons aren't like, again, no pitchfork, but it's like psychological demons. Like the 7 deadly sins can go haywire and then turn into like a big demon. Do you watch Demon Slayer?
No.
Okay. So basically, Demon Slayer is about these demon slayers, hence the title. But like these demons, they get bigger and bigger with more people they eat.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. But it's like, is that an analogy for what's going on too? It's like greed demon eats another person, gets bigger, eats another person, gets bigger, and then like the whole world is just a greed demon.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like these demon slayers that are trying to kill. Like you and I are literally like, hey, don't do that, bro. Like,
Yeah. Right.
greed's not cool, you know? So while we're all like fixated on like the cyberpunk 3D reality, a greater reality's interplaying in front of us, which is like this 4th dimensional demonic angel battle.
Mm-hmm.
I could totally hear my sister in my head right now. Like, dude, you guys smoked way too much weed and went on this podcast. Like, no, I'm like totally sober, bro.
Sure. Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, this sounds crazy, but it's like, no, it's like.
Well, yeah, I'm viewing that as an analogy, right? I'm not viewing it as
same.
literal.
No. Like, yeah, no, same, bro. No, I don't think it's demons, but I mean, like, if you look at it as an analogy, it's like.
No. I mean, like, these are the lessons that were taught. All the religions, even ancient ones too, right? It's all in there.
Yeah.
It's like but they speak about it as if it's hell, like Dante's Inferno or like the 7 hells, or like. But these are the allegories, what they're actually talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. But I really placed Taoism at the top of the list because it's like there's good and bad, but there's also some good and the bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you can't take it like. There's this thing that I was saying before, but I didn't really understand what I was saying until like this podcast, which is like you just decide what you want to. Like life is so vast, you just decide what you want to stand on, and then you just stand on that. You create your own code, bro. So if like being good is your code, toe the line. If being a demon is your code, toe the line, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just towing the line. But it's just a constant battle between good and evil, or what you think is good and evil. Because maybe like Puff Daddy's like, hey man, the world's evil for not letting me be me, so I'm just gonna like retaliate on it.
Sure.
And you're like, I can see that point. I get it. I can see where you're coming from. But if we were just like inclusive from the jump, then you wouldn't feel so bad.
Mm-hmm.
You'd just be like, hey, I'm gonna go in this closet right now and go do this thing. Like, cool, man.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Well, it has to be mutual, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, just don't hurt anyone, bro. That's the one demon that I'm like, it's kind of mean, bro.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
All right, you know what's funny? You could be a total. All right, it's all in the, unfolding or like the expression. It's all in the way you present the information,
mm-hmm.
right? You could be like, yo, these motherfuckers are bad, bro. Don't ever be a demon.
Right.
Or you'd be like, ooh, this is kind of mean. Like, see the way I was like doing that? Because I'm like,
sure.
A lot of people are very like, with it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do it like kind of, maybe that's the brilliance of comedians. Because if you make it a little funny, it's like easier to swallow.
Yeah.
Like maybe I shouldn't be mean.
Right.
Like, hey man, don't be mean. Oh, I can't even do it in a serious way. But you know what I mean? Like when you could be reprimanding or you could be like kind of funny with it.
Yeah.
And like
it's how you communicate. Yeah. That's the
right.
Right.
Because we like technically we talked about some really heavy stuff on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Really like
Yeah.
but it was not. It was like funny. You know, it's like just reset the video game. You know, it's like
I
it's
know.
not.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you know,
what
like
it is
if you say it like that, you know what it is like, oh, dude, that's serious, bro. What are you guys saying? Like,
Sure.
reset the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I think that's how people. But I brought that up because I think that's how people should take it. I think that's an angel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like humor is an angel.
Yeah.
It comforts you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good manifestation. You know,
Yeah.
because I think you can come at this two ways. Like I can sure like I've heard people talk about this stuff, but very like reprimandy.
Yeah, because it is very
Oops. Yeah.
like that's adding your context or your definitions, that individual's person's, as if that's the only right thing.
Right. Yeah. And it's like that also is a demon, though. Like being too reprimandy is a demon, bro.
Or pride, or like
Pride. Dude, 7 deadly sins, bro. They're all demons.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God, that is. You're right, though. It is pride. Yeah, it is pride. Listen to me because I know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or we're going like, maybe you shouldn't do that. Right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like, all right, we're doing we're same lesson,
Right.
but like we're just not feeding the pride demon. We're just like we're feeding the laughter demon.
Mm-hmm.
Cause it is really fun. Like when Tara said that, I was like, I broke out laughing. I'm like, yeah, you put it that way, it's so stupid. Dude, he's just really horny. Like, yeah, he is. Oh my God, that's really what it is.
Right,
and then I was like,
right.
oh my God, it's a demon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Not that what happened wasn't bad. I mean, like,
We don't
I
know what
really feel
exactly
bad.
happened. Also,
Facts, but I'm just looking at my reels and I'm like, oh God, I feel so bad for Justin Bieber. I'm just like,
yeah. I just there's a lot of. I'm not saying it's all wrong information. It's just we don't know what the actual information is. So
True,
people make
true,
up
true.
a lot of the stuff that are. We don't know if they're necessarily connected.
that's why we need to wait for 50 Cent's documentary.
No, but even that.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, because he made that for like 10 years, bro. But apparently he's a victim or something. I was like, oh man.
Well, I don't know.
sense.
I don't know. He never. I don't know if he said.
You see that picture where he's kissing the other dude?
Oh, 50 Cent?
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's like I don't know what pictures to believe.
With the context, what context are you like? Hey, well, I don't know the context of why he kissed the man, but like, bro, what?
No, I'm saying I don't know if the picture is real.
Oh, like AI?
Yeah.
That's true, bro. You know, dude, I saw a comment that was like, all right, last thing, because I actually have to go soon. And I'm sure we're running along and you have things to do.
Yeah.
But the comment was, it's sad because we live in the age where we can't trust video anymore as evidence. And I was like, oh, that's true, bro. Because I don't know if it's real. Or like pictures even, you know? Because before we're like, hey, I took a photo of it, it's real. And you're like, oh yeah, true. Can't fake it. But I always thought like, dude, you could Photoshop that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a thing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like, but now we really can't trust anything, bro.
Yeah.
Like we're doomed. Like, I don't, I sent you that thing. You're like, that's not real. Like, oh man, you know, right?
Yeah. I think it should be the default thinking that is this real, but I don't know if people are really in that mindset yet.
Because we want our information now, bro. I saw that picture and I was like, I want this to be real, so I know what's up. I can't wait for the court case.
Right,
I want,
right.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I want my dessert now.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you're like, hey man, we gotta wait to see through the courts if this is real.
Yeah.
Like what is fake and what's real. And I'm like, no man, that dessert looks tasty. Because my gluttony demon right there.
Yeah. Like again, it's like it just goes back to like the Trump time saying that he won the election or whatever, and his lawyers going around, Rudy Giuliani going around like, oh, we found all these fake things. But you can say all that if you want outside, but in court, none of he didn't say any of that.
Yeah, no,
because it's not
facts.
true.
It was perjury.
Yeah,
you know,
it would be, exactly.
Yeah. We're crazy species, but dope. I think it's a dope I really think it's a dope reality. Like
Mhm.
I'm actually truly excited about like yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I'm excited about like the world.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
cool.
It's an
Yeah.
interesting.
It's an
Uh,
interesting, yeah. Yeah, it is. All right, anyways, till next week. Everyone go watch Joker, bro. That'll be fun.
sure. Or a kids movie that's actually really good called I think it's The Wild Robot.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Was it good?
It's good. It was a kids movie, but yeah, it's good.
Ah, damn. All right. So just like the Transformers, I went to go watch it. I was like, oh man, it's like a kids movie.
Uh, this is more kiddier than that, but it's
Oh damn. All
but the
right.
lessons are really good though. So.
Zootopia. Remember Zootopia?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last thing. Zootopia. It was actually about racism. That was like
Oh
it
yeah,
was a
yeah.
kids movie, but it was a good kids movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So is it like Wild Robot like that, or is it
Kind of
more
like
like
that.
Transformers?
It's about. It's more about AI becoming. Uh,
Sentient?
it's society protecting the animals, things like that. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Oh, all right. Did you watch a Scarier Place or something? The dude. I'm actually gonna go see that soon.
Which one?
That's why I'm like, I
Oh,
gotta
I
go.
know.
Scary something. The guy, he was Professor X.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. No, I haven't seen that.
I heard it's good. I heard he ad-libbed the whole movie. Like they just gave him a direction and they're like, go for the scene.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see like that portrayal.
Right.
Yeah, good actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Until next week, take it easy, fish.
Peace.
Bye. All right. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors: Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, fish.
Peace.